Welcome to Arsenal above all. Arsenal keep rolling. 3-0 win against Bournemouth. They packed up their bucket and spade and took the slow train back to the South Coast after Declan Rice put in a clutch performance of epic proportions, just showing that we only paid half price for him, really. I've got Brian and the main man, Steve, they call me Stepney, here with me tonight to talk about that and a lot more. But of course, before all of that, let's go. Welcome to the show. Well, Neil Shah is the most dangerous Arsenal fan alive. If he's number one, and I've got number two here with me, Brian Haley, Wu-Tang Killer B. He is from Watford, so he's Wu-Tang Killer B. Brian, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, Mike. I'm good. I'm relaxed. Should I say? I'm relaxed.
Yeah, good stuff. Great to have you on. See, you got the invite. You got the dress code. Nice one. One of us let down. Don't worry about that. And then here he is, Steve. They call me Stepney. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, all good, Mike. Thanks for having me back on again. Yeah, I didn't get a message. My WhatsApp must be slow.
Came by carrier pigeon.
No worries. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, guys. I appreciate it. Bank holiday over here, and obviously the kids are going to be off tomorrow, so they'll be up at the crack of dawn. So we try and get a quick show out and get it out so we can get a decent night's sleep if we can before all that action happens. But we start off with obviously before anything goes forward, we probably want to pass on our thoughts to the family of the 14-year-old that was tragically killed last week with the events in Hainault, and respect to the club who took part in obviously remembering Daniel, giving him a minute's applause after 14 minutes. It was really touching. I think I saw at one point, I think Declan Rice was doing it as well, when I think there was a stopping play and he turned and started doing it. We're all fathers, and I can't imagine what that family has gone through and how they're dealing with it. But we send our positive thoughts to them and best wishes to the family and friends of that family. So tragic news, but it was great that a particular individual paid homage to it in a sense, or in a way, with his performance and the goal that he scored. But we'll talk about that in a bit. But let's get on with the game. Obviously, we turned out, starting off first, trying to put City under pressure. Mid the lunchtime game against Bournemouth. Brian, I think we spoke before. There was absolutely no need to change the team after what's happened in the last couple of weeks, and the fact that there's only one game a week now. You've got time to recover and recuperate. But we started with the same lineup. Brian, what was your thoughts on that first half performance, and did you think it was going to be one of those days again? Like the situation. That's what I was thinking. I think after 20 minutes or so, when Declan Rice missed that gilt-edged chance, when he hit it wide. But what was your thoughts on just how we approached that game and the performance? Arteta said it was probably the best first half we've had this season. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. What was your thoughts?
I suppose as in chances, it probably was. But if you don't convert chances, it can't be necessarily our best half of football. this season, as far as I'm concerned. If it was our best half of football, we would have probably been 2, 3, or 4 up at that stage. I think Mark Travers was on a one-man crusade to stop us. Basically, it looked like for the first half an hour, with the chances that we did have, other than the ones that we generally did miss and didn't hit the target. He looked like he was on a crusade, basically on his own. But I think, generally speaking, I think, look, going 1-0 up, I think we deserved it. There isn't any question about that. We definitely deserved it. I know we'll probably talk a lot later regarding to to Kai Havertz and generally his contribution anyway. But look, we deserved the lead at half time. It should have been more. We could have been more clinical, and the keeper did well. So there was a combination of different things that basically, got us to where we were really at half time. But I wouldn't necessarily say it was. If we convert in those chances, yes, it probably would have been our best. But it's not when you're not scoring and putting a game effectively to bed, basically.
Yeah, I think the first there's a record 11 attempts on goal in the first 20 minutes in a Premier League game, which is a joint amount we've had so far this season, which is pretty special. And one of the main key features was Kai Havertz, Steve, who I thought his performance up front was definitely the best one. He looks like, apart from the goals, getting a goal, I should say. Assist, obviously, he had that guilty chance in the second half we talk about. But his performance, I just thought it was outstanding. He was getting in behind, he was holding the ball up really well. What was your thoughts on that? And obviously, leading up to the big controversial incident which led to that penalty shout, which people are talking about, rather than something else, which was a bit more dangerous.
Yeah, Havertz had a quality game. He had a quality game. I know you used the 11 in the first 20 minutes. It was 16 and 16 and 16 was what they kept saying. We had 16 chances in that first half. His performance was in keeping with his current form of progressing and getting better in every game, which is difficult to do at this stage of the season, to be perfectly honest. He's growing, he's developing, he's trusted by his teammates, he's obviously trusted by the manager and the staff, and he's proven that with his performances. I think he had a good chance early on in that first half, within the first 10 minutes, 7-8 minutes, or whatever it was. But yeah, no, he's you can't fault the guy, man. He's putting the effort in. He's linking up play as well, which is good. He's dropping deep to pick up the ball as well. He's tracking back and doing the defensive work. Solid performance from him, and fair play. Barring a goal, he was one of the best players on the pitch. We'll talk about our man in the middle, who was the man of the match. But yeah, Havertz had a quality game, and we'll talk about the incident. Just my thoughts on it very quickly. It's a pen. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a pen.
Why, Steve? You got to put that down. Why?
It's a pen.
Why do you think it's a pen?
There's contact. There's contact. Yeah. There's blatant contact, isn't there? People say, "Oh, he's left his foot in." Slow motion doesn't do some penalties justice. In full speed, when you look at it, it's a pen. The goalkeepers come rushing out. The goalkeeper doesn't come rushing out and go towards Havertz, then it's not a pen. But he comes rushing out towards Havertz and he gets caught, and it's a pen. People say he left his foot in. He's in a good position to actually just go in and score. He's felt the contact, so he's gone down, and it's a pen. There's no two ways about it. You can look at it however you want to.
Yep. Yeah. Brian?
Yeah. Look. I would say he got away with one, but the most important thing I think about it is that you have to make the officials make a decision. The run that he did and made the keeper commit make the officials make a decision. So regardless of the fact if we think it was a penalty, is a penalty, wasn't a penalty, he's making the keeper and the officials make a decision by the run he made anyway and going round him. So another week, and we've already another week, they may not have given that. You know, another week they may not have given that. Do you know what I mean? Because this is the problem where we've got obviously with refereeing and VAR and stuff like that. The interpretation for what one referee would see to another, and people at Stockley Park to one week to the next, you're going to get different. You're going to get different views. You are going to get different views. But what you have to do, most importantly, is to be in those positions to make the people make those decisions one way or the other. And that's what Kai Havertz did more than anything else. And that's what he's been doing. You know, he's been getting into those positions and making people commit themselves, regardless. And that's, you know, we're going to get one, and we may not get another. We may not get another one next week. It just, do you know what I mean? It's one of those. But as long as he's continuing making those runs and stuff like that, and committing, making people make decisions, I'm quite happy.
Yeah, there was an incident before where he ran through. I think he used his strength to knock the defender over, and then went over as well. You know, who knows if they looked at that? That could have been given something. But yeah, he's been tarred with the brush. You know, he dived. But funny, when Harvey Elliott initiated contact against Liverpool, Man United in the FA Cup, he was told that was clever play. When Diego Jota, there's a theme there, you know, Diego Jota did it against Newcastle. When he went round the keeper, got a touch, and then took a couple of steps, then went down. Didn't hear anything from Carragher, didn't hear from anything from anybody about that. But hey, you know, it is. We're the villains of the Premier League. You know, we shouldn't be. You know, we know who the villains are, but we're the villains of the Premier League, so they're just going to use us to hit us over the head for stuff. So, obviously, the penalty is given, and up steps Starboy to tuck in again. Mad numbers, his 20th goal in all competitions. His 58th goal overall for Arsenal. Liam Brady and Kevin Campbell, who obviously two other academy products of the club, are on 59. So he's in decent company. You know, he's gonna, you know, who knows what he's gonna finish. But his performance, we were lucky to see that. Really, that performance, Steve, after what happened before, which, you know, is you know, we joke about it, but you know, we Arsenal, we as Arsenal fans, as you know, we have trauma, don't we? We have trauma not only because of results and taking leads, big leads, and then seeing those leads go, or have title races and then see things blow up. We have trauma because we've seen, you know, very recently, 3 players, really talented players, get their careers basically changed beyond all recognition because of tackles. I don't know whether you want to call it that, but tackles like these are just a couple that's happened in the last couple of games, and you know, that those 2 tackles and the one yesterday, 3 red card tackles, basically, you could say, right? 1 yellow card.
Yeah.
I can't understand how a referee might miss that in the heat of the moment. You can imagine, you can understand it. You know, it's 100 miles an hour. You know, but I can't understand how VAR doesn't look at that and say that's dangerous play. Apparently, they looked at it and said it was. It was. I can't remember if I've got my words right. I think they either said it was reckless but not dangerous, or dangerous but not reckless. One of the two. So they acknowledged part of it, but I can't understand that you can't see that as well. Yeah. And again, VAR looks at it and says, "Oh, it's fine. Play on. You know, there's nothing wrong." Yeah. And the funny thing was, we didn't get a free kick for that. It was a drop ball. The referee gave a drop ball to restart the game. Steve, Yeah, what's your thoughts on that? Because that was 10 minutes in. When you see the tackle again, Ryan Christie, as soon as his foot lands on it, his head goes down. For a split second, you can realise that, oh, I'm in trouble here. I'm gone here. He knows it. He knows he's gone in high. He knows he's gone in late for it, and he knows he should be seeing red. And then he managed to get his yellow card in the 95th minute, even though he spent all game, leaving ones in, abusing the referee, left, right, and centre. Did a nasty tackle on Odegaard as well, which I think led to his yellow. Shocking stuff. But Steve, what's your thoughts on that? And the narrative, because all the narrative we've heard is what we spoke about earlier. Havertz died. He initiated the contact and stuff like that. I'm not hearing anything about this and how a referee could miss a potentially leg-breaking challenge, which would have taken Saka out of the remaining games of the season and the Euros and everything else. What's your thoughts on that and the tackles that we continually seem to receive from players that don't get punished?
Yeah, look, we've had it. Eduardo, we've had Diaby, we've had Ramsey, 3 awful tackles. You showed the pictures against Wolves and against Chelsea, 2 awful tackles. You showed this one, it's an awful tackle. The guy's got a scar on his leg. Harry Kane got protection. Certain players get protection. Saka gets 0 protection. Absolute 0 protection. He gets up, he's strong, and he plays on. But he needs protection. He needs protection from the referees. That's a horrible tackle. Even when you see it in live play, you sort of go, oh. And you was expecting, you go, okay, well, you know what? As you said, Mike, game's at 100 mile an hour. Probably missed it, probably not seen it from the best of angles, whatever else. You go, yeah, VAR will look at that. That's got to be a red card. And nothing. And people will talk about the Havertz penalty thing and sort of go, well, Havertz died, and that's probably, evened itself out and blah, blah, blah. First of all, like I said, it's a pen. Second of all, they should have been down to 10 men and that game would have been comfortable because he would have been sent off. Christie should have been sent off. He should have had bookings earlier during the game as well. It's not acceptable. It can't be always, Arsenal are a soft touch, so you can just go in hard on them and referees just allow it. Because we do some of the softest tackles and then get a booking for it. And yet these ones that are potential career enders are nothing. Those 3 pictures are classic examples of stuff that happens week in, week out. In the front of most of those tackles because he's just an easy target. The refs don't book players that go in on him, and he has to get up and then has to do it again. And if he reacts in any way, shape, or form, it's an automatic yellow card. Even if he shows a bit of frustration, he'll get an automatic yellow card. If he shoulder barges someone, he'll get a yellow card because they'll go, oh yeah, Saka's reacted to it and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, of course. When somebody's going in for tackles that could potentially not just get you injured for the game, not just get you injured for a couple of months. These sort of tackles can literally ruin your career. And no protection. So it was good to take that penalty. He was good, he was calm, slotted it in lovely, and he just silenced people because that's all he does. He silences people. People always question him, always going, you know what, maybe he's not this. They compare everybody to Saka because Saka is the standard. And yet he's strong, he gets on, he's humble, and he does it. The kid is amazing.
Yeah. Totally agree. Brian, what was your thoughts on just that on that tackle and the fallout? And again, as Steve said, his resilience. For him to come up. He's I think that's his 11th penalty. I think he scored 10 of his last 11 penalties for Arsenal since, or 10 of his 11 penalties taken because since obviously what happened last season as well with against West Ham. But yeah, what's your take on Saka and that incident?
Well, firstly, it's all the hard food he's eating. That's for a start. All that hard food he's eating. For the amount of kickings he's getting, that's down to the hard food for him to be getting back up like he is. But I think, look, in seriousness, look, we're talking about protection. VAR at the end of the day is supposed to do the protection now. It's protecting players just as much as the rules of the fact of offside and stuff like that. It should be there also to protect players, because you cannot be telling me that someone at Stockley Park can't be seeing that and saying, I need you to go and have a look at that. You know, that's seriously endangering. Come on. And nothing to be done with that. Come on. You know, they're the sorts of things that you should be looking at just as much in the game. I know they're trying to turn around and say, oh no, we will start looking at everything. No, if that's potentially ending someone's career, okay, then that has to be looked at, you know. And that player who ends up doing things like that should get a ban, and an extended ban to go with. You know, we're not turning around saying people can't tackle, but what we're asking is that we want people basically not to get away with doing things like that either.
Yeah, consistency. Because Fabio Vieira did something similar to that. It's Burnley this season when he got sent off, and I think that's when Arteta kind of got a bit peeved off with him, and he kind of found himself out of the loop a little bit. But his one, you know, high, and you know, dangerous, reckless, you know, but his one was nowhere near as bad as the one that Christie did yesterday. And yeah, the guy didn't get a yellow for it, and another player's got a red card after coming on, you know, as a sub. So all that stuff you can kind of say, oh, he come in and he's not up to speed with the game. There was no excuse for that for like a player like Raya Christie who started the game and did that. But again, it's just consistency, isn't it, bro?
No, yeah, absolutely. And you know, as I said, I don't want to go back over and over again, but you know, if we are going to use whatever technology there is, the technology is also there to help and protect players. You know, 100%. And that was that's a clear identity there on the basis that you should be looking to protect your players there. And unfortunately, Stockley Park and you know, and the referees association, should we call them, still the old school, are just not really. There's no level of consistency whatsoever. You know, we can talk about an aspect of a narrative against stuff. That the narrative against us has probably been going on 20 odd years anyway, to be honest with you, since the Invincible season and stuff like that, and the way that we play football, and then also, you know, saying that we get kicked about and we go to Stoke and get kicked about at Stoke and all of that type of stuff. We've probably had that narrative for the last 20 odd years, to be honest with you. So, you know, but now there is there to protect players, and that's what it should be there for just as much.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, thankfully Saka managed to stay on the pitch, get the penalty, take us in 1-0. We have a good record. I think there's 17 games so far this season in the league. We've gone in 1-0 or leading, sorry, and we've won all 17. So we kept that record intact despite of a shaky start to the second half. Kind of had little visions of maybe Villa and maybe the Spurs second half to a certain extent, Steve. What do you think it was? You give credit to Bournemouth a little bit in terms of the way Areola kind of changed things a little bit, because they've been on a good run of form. Apparently, if you from the time we restarted in January, I think they were like, in terms of points and performance, I think they're like 5th in the table of the Premier League in terms of that. So they're no mugs. We kind of knew that. Which kind of makes the performance in the first half that we put in even better. They had a couple of little hairy moments. I think Gabriel was a little bit shaken a little bit, and Saliba had to help him out. I think I remember once. But yeah, second half they just seemed to come into it a little bit more. What do you think that was, Steve? Was that just due to a combination of nerves, or was it just the, you know, maybe the tiredness, or was it just Bournemouth's, you know, being a bit more bolder, being more on the front foot, playing a little bit higher up?
Yeah, look, Bournemouth have done fantastic, by the way. There's been a few teams like Bournemouth, Villa. I think, as you said, from the beginning of this year, or even if you go back to October, they've amassed so many points. They've been good. Their manager has done fantastic work with them on a zero budget, basically. Do you know what I mean? They've got some good players in there. You know, your Kluivert, Semenya, Solanke as well. people were. I don't know which people were expecting it to be an easy 3-point chalk off. They're a good side. They play good football. They've scored some good goals as a team collectively. They're progressing themselves as a team. I think the second half the team took must have just been, look, we're in the game. It's only 1-0. We're in the game. They've had their chances and they're going to get more chances, but we should also be creating chances. And they came out with a bit of confidence to just go, well, if you're going to beat us, then beat us. It's that sort of attitude. If you're going to beat us, then beat us. And nerves will play a part of it, of course, but I don't think it was that. I think it was just Bournemouth being on the front foot and just go, you know what, let's see what they're made of. Let's see if we can put them under pressure, if anything comes of it. And they came close. They came close. The disallowed goal when we went 2-0 up, for example, was it's a tough one for them to swallow. And I fully understand that. You could say the pull by Saliba. I think that's minimal. Yeah. The way they sort of talked about it was like he's yanked him down, got him in a headlock and stuff like that. It's just it's just the sort of stuff that happens in the box, whether it's a free kick, a corner, or any single moment. It's like players are always holding on to each other. Even for that shot that Saka had, where the keeper saved it when Havertz teed him up, he was being pulled and everything else. You could say, well, you can pull that back, call that a penalty. Do you know what I mean? It's a pointless one. Solanke makes no attempt to play the ball, and he plays Raya, so it's a free kick. Yes, contact is minimal, but he's made at no point has he gone. All right, you can't jump through it or anything like that. He's just gone to play the player.
Yeah, he's looking directly at Raya. If he was clever, he looks at the ball, looks at Raya at the corner of his eye, but he's kind of looking up at the ball and does that. Then he gets away with it, but because he's looking straight at him like that, and then he's gone towards him, it's like, well, and then obviously the Billing and Saliba thing, well, that comes after that. So so it was rightly ruled out. It was rightly ruled out. But before that, obviously, as Steve said, we were 2-0 up at the time, and we thought, okay, great, we're going to see the game out. Then that happened, but we went 2-0 up thanks to Trossard again. Finding the back of the net, amazing numbers for him, and it came from a brilliant assist from Declan Rice, who stepped here, had an outstanding performance. But what was your thoughts on just the second half performance, Brian, in terms of individuals, people who stood out at the end? Obviously, those two came in clutch. Goal and assist, and then the goal for Rice. But what was your thoughts on just how we kind of closed out that second half? Especially obviously with how important it was just to make sure we did that. With obviously City playing after us.
Well, I think firstly I was a bit disappointed with the way that the second half started. I think regardless,
were we too comfortable? Did it look like it was overplaying a little bit, or just a bit too?
I think. Look, we're in a business end of the season now, and regardless of who we're playing and what kind of form that they're in, particularly at home, we've got to look to control football matches. We cannot give people 15 or 20 minutes a stiff in a football match with the games that we have to play at this time, okay? Because if those 15 or 20 minutes could have ruined our season, could have ruined it. So we've got to start to think to ourselves, we've got to continue to play for 90 minutes. Our passes have got to be crisper. We've got, when we're out of possession, we've got our numbers right when we're out of position. When we are going forward, we're crisper, we're sharper and stuff like that. There's no much more delay and just be sharp around kind of the final third. But sometimes it's this. I don't know. We're kind of giving the ball away, sloppy passes, and not enough pace on it, or it's. And as I said, all we need is a 15 or 20 minutes at Old Trafford like that and get punished, and then the season's done. We've got to start to we've got to concentrate for 90 minutes and consistently, and do not let people win back into football matches. As simple as it gets, because it's too. We're at crucial levels now, and it will be fine margins, and those fine margins could be simple things like that. So, and that we got a taster from Bournemouth with that, to be honest with you. So, you know, we're hoping. But I think as in the players going forward, I think, you know, Declan Rice was just outstanding. You know, at times it looked like I was just watching a White Vieira. You know, it was just you know, the way, you know, he was just box to box. You know, he was the tackles he was generally making. It was, you know, it was immense. You know, it was an immense performance by him. Deserved his goal. You know, he deserved his goal. The assist was superb. You know, it's probably only him or Odegaard will probably have able to have done that anyway. But look, you know, he's always going to get the plaudits at this moment. But you know, I think I think Thomas Partey was in there. Didn't, you know, again, didn't just have to do what he had to do in there. You know, and that's the Thomas Partey that we've always we continually wanted. Really, doesn't have to, you know, just do the things that he's good at, keeps us ticking over and stuff. You know, and rarely got a mention. Rarely got a mention, and that's probably because he's doing his job too well in some respects that he didn't have to get a mention. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I think between Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, and you know, and Havertz, and obviously Trossard as well. Even though again he has that kind of indifferences. You know, he's taking shots when he doesn't probably need to take shots. He needs to lay it off when he needs to. You know, the simple things are probably playing out wide though. You know, so that's one of those sorts of things. But look, there were some good performances at the end of the day. But you know, we've just got to be 90 minutes of full performances now. We can't afford 75 minutes in games now. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think a combination of just a bit of the tenseness of the situation, maybe having in the back of the mind what happened last time against Villa. You know, second half. Obviously, I know we had Chelsea in between them at home and what we did there. But I think, you know, credit to Bournemouth, they definitely upped the game a bit, and had a lot more chances and took a lot more risks. Again, it's just a shame that we just weren't that clinical enough. I was saying take Trossard off at one point because he just wasn't influencing the game that much and looked a bit out of sorts, and then he pops up with that goal. So what do I know? But even, you know, we skipped past it. But the wall, Gabriel and Saliba could have easily have scored 2 quality goals. I mean, that run from Saliba where he runs through and does the chop and then he shoots it. And, unfortunately, the Bournemouth keeper, and that seemed to be happening a lot. You know, that first half we were just shooting it straight at the keeper. You know, and I know, you know, he got in the way of it, but the goal that should have been from Gabriel, which was just unreal. And I've got to show this picture of your boy Ben White, Steve. You know, just his reaction to Gabriel's goal, and obviously the disappointment, but. I mean, look at one thing you've got to look at is Ben White. I mean, look at those thighs, absolutely golden. I mean, just as gold as the Premier League winners' medal that hopefully we draped around his beautiful golden neck and golden sun-kissed forehead and everything. Just cast him in gold, man. Put him outside the stadium with that statue if we win the league. That's what we need to see. That's amazing. What a picture! I know Steve's going to want me to send this to him and get it on the T-shirt. So I'll be bringing that to you after the show done, Steve. But amazing finish from Gabriel. Such a shame that it didn't count because he would be replaying that on his Instagram forever with that statement. But thanks to Declan Rice's assist to Trossard and that amazing run and finish, we closed the game out 3-0. Still remain a point ahead of City, despite obviously that, because they obviously turned over Wolves, and it's a bit inevitable, really. What kind of feels it what's coming down the track, I should say, because they've got 3 games left now. We've got 2. We know we're going to be playing Manchester United, which they're going to probably use as a cup final dress rehearsal. So they're going to be fighting for their lives, playing for places, whatever you want. Ten Hag has he goes to sleep thinking about that game when we beat them 3-1, because he keeps on mentioning it in press conferences. And now he's got a reason to mention us in the press conference because we're playing them at the weekend. So, he's got no excuses. So I'm sure his press conference is going to last as long as it's ever lasted this season. But yeah, they're going to be up for it because of just the history and between us, regardless of it, even though their neighbours are going to, are going to be the beneficiaries if they beat us or draw against us. They're going to be trying their utmost to stop us. What's your thoughts on the last 2 games, Steve? We're so close to the end now. We normally say 1 game at a time, but we know whatever happens on Sunday kind of just sorts the next game out, doesn't it? If we win, then we know that's it. We just need to close out. If it's a negative result, then we kind of know that pretty much that's it, done. But what's your thoughts going into the last 2, and what's your thoughts on just how this season's been and what this team have done since January? Really, it's been an incredible run. But what's your thoughts on it, on how we've tried to land this first title in 20 years? It's mad when you say it like that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to just quickly touch on Declan Rice because he does need his flowers. He said it after the game, and he said, Bournemouth looked like they were just flagging a little bit, and he made that run. Straight into the box, and it's still a difficult finish. The pass from Jesus is a no-look pass as well, and it's still a difficult finish because he's sort of going away. He's had that extra touch. He's kind of stuck in his feet, and he's slotted it away. The goal that he deserved, his assist again was also just class. He enjoys assists more than he enjoys goals, he said, and that would have made him that would have made him extremely happy. Declan, thank you very much, mate. West Ham, we still owe you another 400 mil because that's we talked about it in the last time, Mike, and I said, Salcedo is 105, Fernandez is 115, and Declan is 105. And if we had paid 405, nobody would still talk about the price tag. Do you know what I mean? It's just amazing. We look forward to the Manchester game. It's never an easy game. I don't like people that say, you know what, we'll go there and we'll smash them and everything else, this, that, and the other. I hate going into that with that sort of mentality. It's going to be a difficult game, and you must win it. So I'm sure their players will all turn up for that particular game because, as you said, Mike, they want to be in the cup final team. So Fernandez, Rashford, Garnacho, all of them will turn up. Ultimately, as well, it's still pride. Nobody wants to get beat at home. So there is some pride there for them that they can, still say, well, they may hand the title to City, but at the same time they'll go, oh well, we stopped Arsenal from winning it. So it is what it is for them. But it would be good to go there, hopefully, and get a result. Get the win, but it will be a difficult game. And then we go to the final game of the season at home to Everton. And I sort of messaged on the last podcast with Neil and Lauren in the comments there and just said, look, it's not unheard of for a West Ham side to go to Manchester and stop a Manchester team winning a title. Look at Tony Adams scoring against Everton last game of the season when Steve Bold turned into prime. Into prime. Erdegaard and just like a lovely ball through. And Adams just smashes it. So, it's all set up. It can happen. You've got to dream. You've got to believe. Until it's not possible, I believe. Anything can happen. And the season overall, look, 3 years ago, and I think I've said this to you before, Mike, 3 years ago, we're not having these conversations, are we? We're not even dreaming about them because we just think we're light years away from everybody else. We thought we were light years away from the Liverpools, the Cities, and even I think at the time maybe the Chelsea and Tottenhams and stuff like that. Well, maybe not Tottenham because they'd never did anything. You know, it's in their DNA and all that sort of stuff. But we thought we were light years away from these teams, and we've progressed quickly as well. By the way, you know, people will talk about it, and like I said, it's just 3 years ago when we're not even having this conversation, because 3 years ago we weren't finishing in Europe. Like we've progressed. We've now moved on. We're now consistently performing. The team is ever performing, evolving, individually, collectively, from behind the scenes to the players on the pitch, to the fans in the stand. Everybody is performing. We'll have to do an end of the season breakdown, Mike, because I'll go through every single player, but you can pick any player that's played a run of games, and you can go, this is where they've helped the team. Kirill, Tomiyasu. People may laugh at it, but Zinchenko's had his moments where he's helped us as well. And like I said, he just doesn't get that protection that Xhaka offered him. If he had that protection, then we'd see a better Zinchenko, in my opinion, anyway. On the right-hand side, Blanco, God, that guy, what a tan. Come on. But he's been fantastic. Our centre-backs have been fantastic. Raya's got the glove. I'm surprised that the defenders don't also get some sort of like golden net or something or golden wall for
golden wall. Yeah,
do you know what I mean? We've been. It's nothing but pride for me because, like I said, 3, 4, 5 years ago, we're not having this conversation. We're not at the table. We're not even thinking about it. They brought us many good moments. If we miss out to City, then financial fair play will get them at some point. No, they won't. That's a lie. No, they won't. It's pride. It's pride. They brought pride back to North London, and that's credit to Arteta, the coaches behind the scene, the club in general. You know, you have to give Josh Kroenke his credit as well, because even in the documentary, you can see that there were some tough questions being asked of Arteta, and it was just, okay, well, let's stick with the plan. Let's go with it. It's a great decision at that point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so pride, definitely pride.
Great stuff. What about you, Brian? You think, as Steve said, you know, there's you always got to have hope, right? But like you said, West Ham do have form on the final games of the season, don't they? You know, we all remember Lasagna Gate. What they did that day. Thank you, West Ham. You know, we always thank you for that, for the laughs and the troubles that we still have about that day. Obviously, Tevez going to Old Trafford and scoring, beating Man United 1-0 to stay up on the last day of the season. Going back at Upton Park when they drew with Man United, which helped Blackburn win the title when they drew to Liverpool. So they've got form. Everyone talk about David Moyes and you know, his connection with Arteta. Obviously, West Ham's connection with Rice. Antonio has come out and said he thinks you know, West Ham going to do a job there, can get a result there. And he kind of ended Klopp's chance of winning the league, didn't he, with that draw that they got at the London Stadium a couple of weeks ago. Do you think he could do it again? Do you think it's possible that something could happen? Because I think that's the game now. I'm not looking at Fulham. Fulham are on the beach. They were awful yesterday against Brentford by all accounts. We know what the Trophy Dodgers FC and Dusty Trophy Cabinet FC are going to do. They'll be in the fight up until City score. And once City score, that's it. They'll get their deck chairs out and it'll be okay. Just run the goal difference up. Do whatever you want. But up until that first goal goes in, they'll be in the fight. They'll try. You know, our plucky Tottenham. You know, and then once that goal goes in, you know, it's all over. So it's West Ham really. that we're kind of hoping beyond hope that they can do something. What's your thoughts? You think they can pull it off?
I think let's start with the Man U game. I think we need.
Yeah, we've got to do the business. Yeah,
we need an Overmars Will Told moment. I will take that. I'll take the 1-0. Come away with there, no problem at all. Go through sticky patches. Control the game where we need to control and take a 1-0. That will be enough for me. I can't really. It's looking at the other games from what City have got and stuff like that. Yeah, it's like you're pinning your hopes on Tottenham. How can you pin your hopes on Tottenham? Come on, they've won nothing.
You're in trouble.
How are you pinning your hopes on them? Come on.
Yeah, you're in a whole lot of trouble if that's the case.
Yeah,
you've messed up somewhere.
Yeah, so that's a start off point. Look, you said, Fulham. You're ready. They're ready on Miami Beach, aren't they? Somewhere. So that's that one's gone. The West Ham one is the one which I did look at, and I think it's a level of pride. I think just as much, and if there's an outside chance of any kind of European aspiration for them as well, they can go and disrupt, but then they can also go and just get walked all over like we've seen today.
Like we've seen today, yeah.
So I think and it'd be funny actually. It probably has been nice for them to have got hammered the game before they play City for an element of going to City to get some respect.
Yeah.
But as I said, it's not much we can do than other and get the result we need to do at Man United. The Everton game, it's the customary end of season game, isn't it? Everton.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happened a few times in the Premier League, yeah.
Yeah. And even Dyche will probably come there and want to spoil a party at some stage as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that we're just 2-1-0ers, and I'll take that. And then whatever the results happen elsewhere, so be it.
Yeah. I think absolutely right. I mean, touching on what you guys have said, if I think again, we at the start of the season we all said, didn't we? You putting money on it, putting hard cold cash on it. You're putting City down to win the league again because they're City, they're trouble champions, and did what they did last year. We just all said that if there's a slip, if they fall off, we need to be there to capitalise. We need to be there right behind them if that's the case. And we wanted to make sure we took it to the last game of the season. We're still on course for that. Last year, obviously, it ended with 5 games to go. It all went off, and they won it with, with 3 or 4 games to go, I think it was. But we're still with a chance of taking it to the last day of the season, which is what we would have. If you said that at the start of the season, you take that, especially with what they did last year. So you can see there, 26 wins, that equals the most we've had in a 38-game season. We recorded more in the 42-game seasons. The double winning side did, I think, as well. But in the Premier League 38-game, we've equaled the record of the 01-02 league winners and title winners, and the 03-04, the Invincibles, obviously, because it was obviously 26 and 12, wasn't it? We've equaled the highest amount of goals scored in the Premier League as well, with 88. That's what we had last year. We've done that with 2 games to go. The goal difference, obviously, you can see it there. So it's been an incredible, absolutely phenomenal run and performance since January. We can pick the bones over the Villa game and the games at home where we drop points, really, where it seems like that's where we've maybe kind of lost it. That Fulham one against 10 men. Still that was crazy. But like you guys are, agree, just proud of this is what we wanted, right? We've got no matter what people say about Arsenal fans, and people slate us as being, I can't stand Arsenal fans, but we all we wanted is to have a team that can compete or be competitive. Because, as you said, it looked light years away that we were going to be back, doing what we saw Liverpool and City doing, going trading blows and everything, and recording mad points and going on crazy runs like what we've done. One defeat in the calendar year so far in the league. That's what these two have been doing for the last 4 or 5 years, 5 seasons, and we're on the precipice of that. If we get through these next 2 games, it's crazy. So all we've wanted to see is this team compete, have players that love the cause, and not playing for the money and the lifestyle, and we're seeing that. And we've got a young bunch of players who will grow hopefully, and if we don't do it this season, then we've still got that hunger to go again. I'm sure it's gonna be the disappointment, obviously, but I believe that they're all going to want to go again, especially if the club identify what needs to be added, which will be, one of them will be kind of internal, one of them is already there, obviously during Timber, who will come into the side, I'm sure, and add an absolutely different, would be a game changer for us, and if Partey decides to stay, we've seen what he's able to produce the last couple of games, fit, strong, allowing Rice to run on and just totally disrupt. Should have scored 2 goals yesterday, easily, maybe should have had another one. So yeah, nothing but pride, like Steve said, of what they've done so far this season. And I think it's time for us to go to Old Trafford and land a few blows on them, a few licks on the back of the neck, West Indian style, just go there and just deal some licks to them, because we've as James would say, played the badge and not the team, not teams on there. And Harry Maguire's out, so that means maybe Casemiro and maybe one. I think the other young French defender, he's injured, so God knows who they're going to play at the back. So we really need to, deal some damage. Put a statement down. Like we have away from home this season, since January, and exercise some demons, because even last year when we lost, we should never have lost that game, and they just did us on the counter. And there's how many times where we've outplayed them and then we've just been done by them. So Sunday I'm hopeful that if we're clinical, like we have been more away from home so far this second half of the season, I think we'll deal with them. And then to take it to the last game with a chance, then that's all we can hope for. So great stuff, guys. Fingers crossed we do it. We get it over the line. Man, it's been an amazing season. I can't believe it's flown by. It's been absolutely ridiculous. But we've enjoying it. They say time flies when you're having fun, and we've had fun for the most part of it, with whatever's happened. So let's keep everything crossed. Everyone seems to be fresh and fit. Maybe Timber, he's on the bench. We were hoping he was on the bench yesterday, but he wasn't. But hopefully he's maybe on the bench. I'm sure he'll probably be on the bench last game of the season, depending on what happens. But we're all ready to go, and I'm sure they're going to give everything.
That's a first, Mike. That's a first for us to be at the stages of this season with a fully fit squad.
Yeah, it's amazing
that you can go 3 games basically unchanged as well. At the business end of the season, that's what we, to be challenging, that's what you've got to have. And if you've got the big enough squad to make 1 or 2 changes, which will be just people slotting in and knowing that they can equally do the job, then that's what's necessary. And I think I'm looking forward to the season's not even finished yet, but I'm looking forward to next season. Because I'm just thinking to myself, if we win it, but if we don't, it would be like what Wenger did for the 2003-24 and 2003-4 season, when he just turned around and said, what, target's to go unbeaten. We've got so close the season before. The target this season is to go unbeaten. We're going to go and play a way that we're not going to get beat. And that's and I think I'm seeing a little bit of that in us at this moment in time. And I think with 1 or 2 additions to that, I'm not saying that we will go unbeaten, but it will certainly be that City are going to have to match us. It's not
Yeah.
the other way round anymore. You know,
Yeah.
City is going to have to match us just as much as them. You know,
Yeah.
it's not having to match them because we're just getting, as you notice, we're getting closer and closer.
Yeah, you pretty much have to go unbeaten to beat the City side, you know,
Yeah.
or get 100 points, whatever's easier.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy, right? I said to Andrew, who's in our group, our work group, who's a Liverpool fan, and I said to him, and I actually feel I finally get it. I really feel for you because you guys finished second with 97 points, with one defeat all season, and then you won the league with 99 points. Which isn't normal. It just isn't normal. You know, you don't see that stuff in any other league. The only other time that happened was when Real Madrid had to get 100 points just to beat, guess who's? Pep Guardiola's Barcelona. So this guy is normal. Whatever methods, whatever they use, the fact is that they go on the pitch and they're just like a machine. And I'm with Brian. I think we take it. Whatever happens, and we'll go on. Whether we win it, if we win it, great. But I still think even if we win it, we go on to make that statement of going back to back. And if we don't, then we use that as more hunger, more raw meat to go ahead and iron out those little mistakes or little issues we came across obviously this season, which we know about. But yeah, let's go. Let's go to Old Trafford and just we're better than them. You know, we're on a different level. Liverpool should have put them out of sight. They drew the other day, didn't they? Draw with Burnley. Burnley had more possession than them as well, and should have. You know what I mean. So they're a terrible side. We know they're going to be up for it, but we're so much better than them. We're so vastly superior. We just need to show that, and hopefully we'll get the points.
Just quickly touch on something, Mike. Look, we have consistently shown progression. And Arteta sets those standards first and foremost. It's his vision, his passion, his belief. Because I think it was Kid 2 that said, like, what's the difference between a manager and a coach? I said a coach is somebody that's there to get the best out of the team. He said, so what's the manager? I said the manager gets the best out of the team but runs the club. It's his vision. This is his Arsenal. This is what he wants. It's his standards. Players come in and they have to hit those standards. It's not a case of, you can come in and just have a laugh all the time. We had those
make
players.
the numbers up, isn't it? It's about, it's not about
we had those players. He got rid of them for one specific reason. The standard is here. So we're going to keep on improving. We're going to keep on getting better. We're going to keep on chipping away. City will be City. A Pep Guardiola team will be a Pep Guardiola team, and City will be City. Like I said, 115, 35, 45, 6 million FFP charges or whatever it may be, nothing's going to happen to them. So we all know that.
Yeah.
Okay, the league ain't going to do nothing to them. They're going to charge them 50 pence and go, don't do it again, lads. And do you know what I mean? If they were going to do anything, they should have just gone, right, we're going for these charges now. Boom, 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 boom. So we can get these things resolved as quickly as possible instead of putting them all together in one. Start the process. They didn't want to. So City will be City. We will be us. Arteta will make sure that the players are hungrier every season because he's got that in him and that's the standard. And I love the way he talks, especially when you look in the documentary and even just in some of the odd things when he's meeting some fans and stuff like that. It's when he's talking about Arsenal and he's talked about us in the past and when he's talking about us and the standards and the professionalism and what you have to achieve to be the best, that is sinking through. It's proven. Havertz, proven. Rice came in and went, I'm a good player, but I'm learning a lot. Do you know what I mean? The guy is learning a lot. We look at any one of our players and they've shown an improvement on the Raya. Because the standard is here. So if you want to come in and you want to be able to perform week in, week out, you've got to hit those standards. We're moving up. And whether it's this season or next season or even the season after, we will be champions at some point because that's the standard Arteta has set.
Yeah, 100%. Well said. Thank you so much for your time, gents. It's been a great chat. It's been a great season, and let's just hope we can just get over the line. Next 2 games, 2 wins, 6 points, a few more goals, and then we see what happens. You know, the table doesn't lie, they normally say. Before we go, I'm going to show this picture again for Steve, just so we can have sweet dreams tonight. Sweet dreams, Steve. You know I'm your supply guy, man. So,
that's the poster one, mate. That one's going straight under the pillow.
Next time I'll just have it zoomed in. But cast him in gold outside the Emirates. That's the next statue. And we'll be back next week after the United game. This will be on the usual platforms, Spotify, Acast, and get it up on YouTube as soon as I can. But thanks, Steve. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for the subscribers. Hit 5K, but it seems to have gone down a little bit. But not about that. Just obviously, if you want to listen to good Arsenal chat, I really appreciate you liking and recommending to a friend, and we'll continue to do this. So, thanks very much, guys. Have a lovely bank holiday Monday and the rest of the week. We can look forward to the trip to Old Trafford when we slap Ten Hag on his bald head. And come away with the 3 points. West Indian style, like that, all that business. And 2 more to go. Come on, you Gunners. See you later.
Remember, Giroud into the box, and they have immediately.